Hey, welcome everybody to Battle Pirates Crib. Hope everybody's having a good week. We're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming bounty, some of the FM prizes that we got released this week, and whatever else people want to talk about. So let me go ahead on your screen from my left to right. It's Cannon Fodder,
Hello, everybody.
Padre Prince.
You don't know me.
Yes. And this is Hefe. So anybody have anything they want to start with, or should we go to the slides?
Well, the slides mean more work for Padre, so I'm all for those.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do those. I'm going to put it on present mode here.
Okay.
Wait, am I? I'm going to take it off of present mode. I'm going to do screen share.
There we go.
And we're live.
There we go. We're up and running.
Automatically switch. Don't you dare. Okay, we're good.
Okay. We're good. Yep. I isolated you on that, and I guess we can go to the first slide there. Bug fixes. Alrighty.
Don't need to talk about much here.
Yep. Not sure exactly what she's fixing, but PvP cannot select a player if they have a guard fleet set. Anybody have much experience with that?
I've seen it. I haven't honestly been hitting.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't have a fleet to hit with, unfortunately.
I see.
I saw it as well. You could attack them, but you couldn't. You just couldn't see the information. Like if you clicked on it, nothing showed up.
You can't see how many medals they're worth.
Yeah.
It's different for every base, though. Some bases you can see the stuff. You can click attack. Some of them, if they've got a guard covered up by a mega, which is pretty cheap. Like, who's getting in your base now anyway? Really?
Well, but you could directly attack them. You could right click them, and it would attack them.
Yeah.
But you just couldn't select anything. And now it's replaced that glitch with now if you don't have like what I noticed is if I didn't have the fleet on the map selected, it wouldn't show anything. Or if I went to the map, it wouldn't, even if the Hyperion was selected, it wouldn't show anything. So if I clicked on one of those side fleets and then went back to the Hyperion, then it would show up their information. So it replaced the problem with a new problem. So that's fun.
Okay, yeah, because I heard that some people say it wasn't fixed. So
it's like
they created. Yeah, they fixed one thing and created another similar issue. It sounds like. Fleet management. Fleet is stuck in docking phase when returning to base prior to fleet completing docking. I've run into this quite a bit.
Not too much for me, but I've seen it. It's annoying. So that's fixed, allegedly?
Yeah, they say it's fixed. I was doing it mostly when I was going out getting base parts all the time. And like whenever I was recalling my fleet, I would have to refresh in order to have it actually dock. So, but I haven't been collecting base parts, so haven't run into the issue because I was going in and out all the time. Because with my fleet, as far as the 103s, I would just go in and repair my my Blood Hydra, and I could just run instant repair of the Blood Hydra, and I could run 103s all day and all night. And so that's when I was running into that issue.
You were busy.
Yeah. I had 20 turrets I had to upgrade. So, or no, turrets I change out. Traps. Defending fleets now attack behind traps.
I haven't tested this one. I know that as a sloth runner in my guard fleet, I know that before the bonus range was not applied to the sloth. So until the second gate was down, if your fleet was behind that gate, they would only shoot at the range as though it was only one sloth. You know what I'm saying? Like the 10% for each sloth wasn't applied, so they weren't even shooting the whole way around.
Okay.
I don't know if that's been fixed or not, but
Yeah, I'm not certain if it's been fixed or not either.
I don't know if they tested that one, so we'll see. I'm happy with my base how it is for now. But
Okay, that's cool. Campaign already owned prizes and uncompleted campaign runs were displaying placeholder text. I didn't run into that.
yeah,
Either.
I didn't see that. Well, mostly because I don't do campaigns.
Yeah.
Okay, alrighty. Um, when a campaign was activated, the abort button did not consistently update correctly. I don't know what that means either.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean.
Okay.
Never noticed.
All manufacturing items were being locked after speed up research.
Hmm.
I think they ought to run a poll when he puts out the bug fixes. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Yes or no? Because um it seems like a couple more words need to be added to some of these. Unless you good.
Oh no, I was saying I like your idea of a poll, but maybe they should do that before
Mhm.
they start the bug fixes, and then every month they have a list of 15, 20 things, and then let the players decide what they feel is most important. Now, some of this stuff they excuse me, they should just fix because well, they screwed it up. But
Yeah.
as far as fixing things that are broken in the game, there's a plethora. It'd be nice to see a poll and let the players pick the top 5.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's one idea. It's sort of different. I'm just saying, do we understand what he's talking about?
Oh yeah.
On the other side of things.
Not consistently update correctly. So what? You couldn't abort at some time? I don't know.
Well, I had noticed that sometimes not be there, but I don't know if that's what they mean. It's
Yeah.
hard to say. Like F.A. was saying.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's go on. Forums. Forum ban players are now able to view forum posts while logged in. Prior to this, you could not, if you were banned from the forums, if you tried to hit the discuss button up at the top of the screen, all you would get was sort of a just spinning wheel and were never able to see anything. But as of a day or so ago, they've updated that to allow players that have been banned from the forum to actually view the posts, which is cool. And I wrote that one. That's why I understood it.
There you go. That's the best.
There you
You should
go.
just write all of them.
Yeah.
There.
So yeah, if anybody else has been having, I've been banned from the forums for 3 years. So if anybody else that's on right now that's banned from the forums, try and get it in the normal way, and let me know if you're having a change in how the forums are working for you. Now it should be fully functional, except for the fact that you cannot post anymore. So
Nobody wants to hear what you have to say anyway.
yeah, exactly. And
It's a good one.
the other one I also added is Defender Class Hall base repair time has been reduced to 30 minutes. This one I also wrote. I'm not sure why they didn't take credit for this. Because now a fully destroyed fleet, is 3-4 hours as opposed to 10 or 12 hours like it was if you had all defenders.
Well, now you can repair it in the duration of bounty, which I think is something we complained about. Maybe they listened.
It's possible.
Possible,
I
but it's
remember, yeah, I remember there was, well, not about complaining, but at least, constructive criticism was going on
mhm.
regarding the repair times in the base and making bounty viable.
Yeah, we
We'll
still
talk
run
about
into the
that
issue.
later.
Yeah, we still have the issue of the 2 hours and change to repair your dock first, and then
Yeah.
do this later. But it definitely puts it in the right. We're going in the right direction at this point.
Yeah.
So, anything else anybody has on bug fixes?
I think that's all of them.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it. They're all
That's
fixed
not all the
now. We're
bugs.
good. They're all
I
fixed.
just want to be clear. That's not all the
Don't
bugs. That's
don't
just
worry until next week.
that's all the ones they fixed.
Yeah.
A-okay here.
All right. Next.
Yeah.
Bloop. I have not. Is this a new picture?
No, this picture's been useless for the last 3 times for low hanging fruit. Unless somebody else wants to send me a suggestion for a better picture for this.
I've got a few ideas, but I think they're worse. So
Okay. Well, you feel free to send them to me, and I'll go through it.
I'm concerned about the direction he might take this.
Yeah. I'm not, lower the monotony required to upgrade walls. We're seeing all the signs that they're about to go to OP11, and then therefore the next level of walls. There needs to be somebody needs to do something smart because it's we should actually have Venom on for this part, but just something needs to be done because it's crazy. They either want like the cost of a you know a mid to high level SUV if you want to do it with gold, or you got to click on these things 400 times and wait 5 or 6 seconds. It's awful at this point in time.
yeah, it'd be nice to dump all your res into it at one time.
Yeah.
Or maybe just lower the amount of res it takes to do a wall. Because really, that's all I gotta say. Really.
Yeah,
Does it have to take
I think
that much?
I think this is something from like way back because one of the old strategies, back when this was more of a res-based game, was the players that were farmed, that were getting run over all the time. They would go out and build a bunch of walls just so nobody could steal it. And then they would come back and recycle all their walls and then do whatever update or build that they needed to do. So at one point it was a strategical thing, these huge costs for it. And but now not so much. Yeah, if they could do something.
Yeah, there's a couple of methods that they could skin that cat with, for sure. But yeah, it would be nice not to individually click and not buy a Kia Sorento on accident.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it's a method for them trying, as they do with a lot of things, and micromanaging and trying to slow the progress down or slow the progression. And it just seems dumb at this point. I mean, really, walls in most cases aren't that beneficial anyway. I mean, just a little bit, but I mean, watch them under some mort fire and tell me how good they do. But yeah, they definitely need to find a way to have a better metric for us doing this, so we all don't pull our eyelashes out.
Yeah, yeah. Multiple times I've said I'm going to, adopt a child in order to upgrade my walls, and I haven't done it yet. But OP11 may send me to that point to start going out. And adopting a child is a wonderful thing,
I
but
think
the
I'd be
only reason I would
Yeah.
do it is for upgrading walls. Otherwise,
Maybe
I
get
think they're easy to get rid of. I don't know much about adopting children, but I think they're easy to get rid of. Start a daycare.
There you go. There you go.
There you go. That's
there we go. It'd be part of their training regimen.
Yeah.
They'll sit around and upgrade my walls.
keep
So
your
yeah,
kids occupied.
You were teaching them computer skills. They're learning.
yeah,
We have computer class every day. It's wonderful.
yeah. Hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, or I think what we ought to have is have Wrong Thinker or Chris just do a one of their live streams
Yes.
of them upgrading walls.
Yes, exactly. How long can they last doing it in a row?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think Wrong Thinker would start drinking during that, but
He might start drinking beforehand. So
He might
yeah.
already be drinking.
I think so.
Yeah, but that's his prerogative.
That's his drinking jacket.
He's an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we can move on unless anybody has any ideas for low hanging fruit.
No, that's a good one. I like that one because
Okay.
if it's coming up, yeah, let's make that less shitty.
Mm-hmm.
Then I don't have to pay someone $20 to do them because I can't.
Yeah, and $20 to do them is much cheaper than adopting a child.
Oh,
Yes.
it is.
And
Yeah.
not enough. Not enough. So
Yeah.
So don't even message me about it. It ain't gonna happen.
No.
Okay. Well, you have some extra children.
No, the $20 or the chip.
Oh, okay. Either one. Okay. All right. One of the new prizes in the FM is the FM skirmish battery, which this is the one that's a little bit of price inflation. This is the one that's, as I recall, this one's 2 million points.
Yep.
So everybody's is used to the idea of battery at the end of something means that it provides 50% turret defense. But because skirmish does not have any buildings, they've replaced that with a splash damage reduction of plus 25%. Plus 24% weapon weight.
That's heavy.
And the real sneaky, not sneaky, but the real telling thing in this whole thing is the Cloak Time edition of plus 25%. So this screams to me, yes, we're going to have subs, and they're going to be subs at surface, not like the Fangtooths.
Yep. Fun times.
Yeah. So I guess.
But it can still auto, theoretically.
Well, we have seen subs that, like, when they go into berserk mode,
yeah,
their defenses go up, and maybe when it surfaces, its defense resistances go up. I don't know.
Similar to a surface ship at that point.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see.
I mean, a lot of people didn't even like the Fangtooths, even though I didn't really ever consider them subs.
Yep. I hated the targets for the Fangtooths. I never had a problem with the Fangtooths. They're easy to drive. It's like a surface ship. It's all about range. They're easy, but the targets were so boring and long. Like, God. So.
Yeah. So this is going to be tricky, and it's interesting. They provided us last week. They provided us with the armor, and this week they're providing us with the special for the upcoming skirmish cycle. So a lot of it's been released prior to the raid proper, which is an interesting approach because normally it's been introduced through TLCs and raids, and not in the FM. So this is. I don't know if they're going to release it again in the raid and possibly a TLC, or probably not in a TLC and an FM, but probably in the raid as well. So it's an interesting approach that they're trying to make some of this technology more available the way it looks.
Well, we have 2 hulls. We only have 1 special thus far, so maybe something's for the one's for the one will come out in the raid, one will come out now. The only catch that I'm a little confused because in the forums they were kind of hinting that there wasn't going to be a sub, but there's a Cloak Time on this one.
Yeah, that's what we mentioned. And I was also saying, that they released the armor special last week. So that they've released 2 specials. The one that provides the armor itself. The armor.
Yeah, the armor itself. Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. So they've released a couple of things early. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brian.
Oh no, I was going to say also it has splash damage reduction, which hasn't been working.
Yeah, it's not the only thing that only works on one thing so far that we've tested, and that was the war plating, whatever the frick, the Conqueror one.
Yeah, war plating.
Yeah, that one. That's the only one that's working thus far for splash damage reduction. Now, some of it, I know the last time I tested ion thrusters was in the FM, and I think it may have just been that I'd gotten down to the lowest, to minimum pass-through on that one. But on the other stuff that I tested, it didn't look like it was working. And then Templar did some extensive testing, and he reported the same thing. Wall plating was the only thing that seemed to be working.
Okay. So, alrighty. And before we brought up, this is the one where we're starting to see again, not new special prizes, but just the normal prizes with the price inflation of this one's 2 million. So basically almost twice as much as what we expected previously as far as the prizes in the in the FM at tier
Oh,
5.
don't get me started with that bullshit. I mean, between that and the bounty, and we've had a grind fest of an FM this past one. This one looks like it's going to be, bad. Plus we have bounty. Plus we have how many skirmish TLCs going at the same time, and then we have an extended raid. So out of the next, we're going to be grinding for the next 12 days straight. This is not. Everyone's going to be burnt out. This is not a game.
Yeah. Well, I think most we can get into that when we get to that, but I think most of the TLCs are for either there's one TLC. We'll wait on the TLCs and the grind thing. We got a ways to go. Let's go. Can we go to the next one, Padre?
More resistors.
Yeah, this is the last of the set, I think. We have the explosive resistors, which were just like the original ones. The hydraulic resistors is set for as opposed to impacting concussive defense. It impacts explosive defense.
Yeah, I just hope they don't limit this to 5 like some of the other ones. I don't know why we haven't seen the other ones come out, because I'm like, I could use this on so much other shit that I want to, and
Well,
what the hell?
I hate when they limit the amount you can redeem. If I want to redeem them, just let me redeem 5. If I want to get the points, why am I have to wait on you to let me have it? Like I think that's so.
Reasons.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah,
I got
too.
both of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because we ran into that issue previously. I forget which one, because you
Ballistic and radioactive.
Yeah, because you couldn't build all your ships because you didn't have enough resistors. So
they didn't give enough time in the FM to get them all.
And then they did it again with corrosive and penetrative.
Mm-hmm.
So, yay.
Yeah. So.
Consistency. We've asked for consistency. We just weren't very specific on how.
You consistently do it wrong.
Yeah, well,
I'm just curious. Does anybody know how many points the people that got in that top set on the FM, how many did they actually grind out? Because I was in like the 30 something million range, and I'm like, I can't imagine how much grinding they had to do.
Well, one of the guys we actually know is in our Smaller Alliance, and he's just come back, so that would be his reason, not try to be on any leaderboard. He was just
no, I understand that. I'm just trying to figure out how much he got.
I could potentially find out, but not right this second.
Yeah, I'm curious because I was exhausted, and I was autoing the things. I mean, granted, I was actually testing things at the same time, so it's not really but I did a lot of FM. I ended up in like the mid 30s, and I was like, dude, if I have to do that again, I'm gonna I want to throw myself in the sun. And that came out, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what the hell? How many did they get, and how much time did it take him? Because like he just came back into the game.
Yeah,
I'm sure he doesn't have, the Greta and the Inferno Dragons like I got. So
I can't confirm or deny. I don't really know.
I mean,
I just know that
that poor bastard.
A few weeks, maybe a month. I don't know. It hasn't been long.
Yeah. Oh, that poor bastard. I am so sorry. I hope someone helped him out, because holy crap.
Oh, I'm sure. So, yeah, I don't know.
All right, should we move on?
We can.
Okay.
Forward.
With the push of a button. So
all righty.
A lot of them.
I was so disinterested in most of the TLCs that I just merely mentioned their names.
Yeah.
Heavy Metal Meltdown is, I think, intended not what we thought it was going to be at all. We thought it was going to deal with corrosive armor, because that makes sense. But Heavy Metal Meltdown is price pack 1 is 75,000 uranium. Price pack 2 is 310. This is one you want to say price pack 2 probably for bounty, to upgrade, do the last part of your upgrading associated with your getting your resistances up to 75%. If you don't have the Scourge Blockade working, because I've seen it. This one has Heavy Metal Meltdown has 5 stages, while the Scourge Blockade only has 3. So that might be an easier way to get 310 uranium and complete that upgrade.
or just time it right and do the first 4 stages before you start bounty, and then click off the last one right after when you need it.
Yeah. I don't know. Is it a 1 hour dealio? I haven't even looked at it.
I can fire it up and tell you.
I haven't looked at any of these
As
yet.
long as my abort button doesn't, not update correctly.
Yes, that's a possibility.
Yeah, it's 1 hour.
Okay.
1 hour,
Yeah.
so,
All right.
and let me see.
Hydra's Hollow. It's a good one if in case anybody needs more Hydra tokens and that technology.
I want to see someone start a petition on the forums to make this one co-op, because they have just completely destroyed the worth of the Buccaneer. And rather than have that one as a co-op, I'd rather see this one as a co-op, because the Hydra does so much better for base parts. And
Just move it into Path of the Continent. Just
swap
the prizes, or have them run in dual, like the same thing basically, with dual prizes like Path of 1 and 2 or whatever, and because that's a great way for people that are catching up to be able to, because somebody can help them, and it's a wonderful thing for the game.
Yeah, and the thing is too, it's not like you're going to have a fleet complete when you come out. I mean, it takes a while to build the fleet the right way, and at least people have the right tools instead of wasting time. I mean, they keep on saying, false path, this and that. Well, why the hell is that Buccaneer TLC even up?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a false path right there. It's going to waste somebody's time.
Turrets of Terror.
Well, Turn the Tides is, well, yeah. Are you comparing it to that? Turrets of Terror, yeah. Everything in there is trash unless you're
the specials. The specials are the only thing good there. If they don't have those for their corrosive turrets, those specials are helpful. But other than that, yeah, it's just rubbish mostly.
Yeah, Turn the Tides has more hydraulic resistors and doesn't have more agility system 4s in it.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's in the last set. That one actually looks like there's some decent prizes in it. I just haven't. Has anyone done it yet?
I did the first pack, but I haven't. There's too many. I'm just like, ugh. But
what'd you run them with?
I use Tides because I'm lazy.
All right. I want to know if the hunters
worth it. I don't even have hunters. I got rid of them.
Yeah, that's something that's coming up quick, is dock space on everybody.
Yeah, I'm about to. I know, like everyone, they keep on throwing up these TLCs that use fangs, but I will not. Like, I refuse to fucking use them. I'm about at the point where I'm gonna just scrap them, because I hate fucking using the damn things now.
I only keep
my Skyfires.
Yeah, I only keep the fangs just to knock out 200s every once in a while. I mean, I know my Ghost Crawler can do it, but I just, the only reason I still have them, I would already have probably gotten rid of them now, because Prototides will do pretty much anything they will normally.
I just make Padre put the sector into orange.
Yeah, because I'm the guy that's working on these.
Perfect. Well, see, for that you have to build in 100 walls. That's the price.
Yeah. Or donate one of your children for a couple of hours so they can do it.
Yes.
Yes.
Padre's daycare.
Yes. Yeah, he's got 6 small children upgrading his walls.
I mean it means father. Come on, it's a perfect fit. You also get Gale Defense 3. You get 5 of those in Price Spec 3 versus the 3 million it would cost to get them over a 5-week span.
I'm glad you mentioned Gales, because on a tangent now, I should have taken my medicine today. I actually during the testing in the FM, I noticed something very strange when I was flipping through different hulls, because I was running them in pairs and I was running them in sets of 5 and stuff. If you have a regular dragon that has a lot of Gales on it, and you're running your Greta, it does the Greta and the hulls actually take more damage. For some reason, the Gales are, I don't know if it's because of the time for the salvo or what, but with the worse accuracy on the second hull, it actually affects how many mortars you shoot down. And I was like, son of a bitch. So that's something that I'm going to start looking at too, because that was a very interesting little tidbit that I came across.
I don't even pay attention to what happens afterwards. I mean, you're like getting down to, that's crazy to me. I'm like, I don't know, took the ship in there, came out, it was damaged. I'm done.
Oh, at this point, I want to break as much shit as I can break, because
right on.
Otherwise, I'm not going to play, because the rest of it's not fun anymore. I mean,
isn't it already broken?
Oh well, I
No,
mean
it's
PvP is
fine.
broken.
No,
PvE is
it's not
broken. I mean
broken till
everything.
I find
The
it.
mechanics. I mean the mechanics are broken, but I mean even with the busted mechanics, even with the shit not working right, I'm gonna try and figure something out because I mean that's the only fun pot left in the damn game.
I still make fun of Alpha. That's my big entertainment. So, Alpha Wolf, I enjoy teasing him. So there you go. That's what's keep me in the game.
Tease away.
Yeah. So
Should we move on?
certainly,
Sure.
Let's go.
certainly.
Ah, 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 ah.
This wasn't, it was, I tried to find a picture for Bounty 13 and I ran into problems and this popped
Sounds like
up.
2013.
This popped up right near the top and I thought it was appropriate. Doesn't everybody think it's,
No, it's pretty much perfectly sums up what they've made the bounty into.
yeah.
I think it's
Oh
funny
yeah.
you ran into problems. And
We
that's
should get
a good way to sum it up. I was trying to find something on Bounty 13 and I ran into problems. There you go.
There we go.
I mean the fact that they don't even want to address PvP and the imbalance before a bounty, and they just keep on throwing out more and more, turrets. What the hell?
To some level, I feel like they should have just dumped all this stuff at one time and be like, here, take it. We don't want it. You can have it. And then we'll move on. Move on
I mean,
now instead
if
of,
they
it's
had
like delaying.
if they had dumped everything and done it really cheap, like I mean, they have all this stuff in bounty, and it's so many points.
Oh, yeah.
They should have just dumped it really cheap because they're going to redo all of it.
Yep.
So give us some time to get it, play with it, and mess with it while they're balancing it. I mean, that would have been
Yeah,
a
I
good
was talking
thing.
to someone last night. Just dump everything on us.
Yeah.
Put it all out there. That
For
gives us
cheap.
plenty of stuff to coin. Do the bounty, make everything 1 point, and then get
Yeah.
rid of the rest of everything. That way, everybody can get stuff. Everyone can build it. They make money because everyone's coining the shit out of stuff. And then they have time to figure it out because as it is, we've got a new guy in charge, and you know what I'm seeing different? Nothing, because we're
No.
still doing the same bounty. None of the complaints that people who like to hit bases are making seem like they're being addressed at all. If
Not yet.
we're heading in a new direction, the direction is not. We haven't turned on that road yet. We're still on
Inertia.
the same road.
We have lots of
Um,
inertia.
Hey,
Yeah.
I actually like that idea because if you throw everything out for really cheap, I mean, I don't know about 1 point, but really cheap so that everybody can get something.
Two.
At least you'll have a semi baseline so that when they do the update, people are not going to be just completely jacked if they don't have the right thing.
Or you don't wait till the last minute. They string us along with all this stuff, and then you build, your last set of holes, and then everything's screwed. At least see if you're going to see this to fruition. Go ahead, dump everything out there. Let everybody build it. Then everybody can do exactly what was going to be intended from the start with this mess.
Yeah.
And then, they've got time, and we don't feel screwed over when they change the mechanics of the game to where all the holes that we currently have don't work again.
Yeah,
And we
and
have
we'll
to
have
start
time to
building.
play with the stuff.
Well,
Yeah, that's what I would do. But I mean, it starts making sense, then everybody gets worried. That's when I get worried.
Yeah, me too.
What I don't understand is why is there like the Eviscerator and the Revenge and why are those in there? I mean, they ain't worth a shit.
Placeholders. Just make it look more impressive.
Look at all this stuff we're giving
Look
you.
at all this stuff. There you go. Concussive reciprocator. There you go.
And we've got, what do we have? 3 new hulls here coming in. The Revenant.
Yep.
I'm gonna tell you, looking at those turrets with all the points that I need, I'm probably skipping the hull and getting the turrets.
Screw that hole.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's not gonna go in your base.
No.
It's gonna die at the front. What?
It's not going to defend your base. It's not
What,
going
what
to
are you
help
gonna
you
use
defend
that
it.
for?
So to have a one called Revenant, I don't know. So
This hull's about as useful as Anne Frank's drum set.
and Frank.
The Wasn't she deaf or blind?
No, that's
or
Helen
both?
Keller you're thinking
Helen
of.
Keller. Helen Keller's drum set.
And Frank was
Yep.
an addict,
Oh
Nazi.
yeah, she was the
Nazi
Jewish
Germany.
little girl.
Diary.
Page one.
It was
Yep.
bad, but a whole different kind of bad.
Yeah, no, and not Anne Frank. My bad. Whatever.
Yeah,
Good as a deaf
We
person's
gotcha.
drum set. You know where I was headed with that, but
Yeah.
it's useless. The turrets that we currently have already make this hull useless, and there's no armors in sight.
No.
You know, we're
I was
going to
hoping for at
change
least
the
a
game,
caustic
players
catalyst.
first. We're not going to have any more of these downtimes where you can't hit bases because you don't have
Yeah.
a hull. And
Now,
here we are again, where there's only one hull that can even go in a base, and we already have turrets that'll annihilate it.
Yep.
And
now we're adding more.
now we're going to make that worse. We're going to compound that issue.
Now,
I mean,
this is-
you know,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
I was saying this is the culmination of their balance, right? I mean, they were saying once we get to the end of this, you'll have balance. I'm like, I don't know if the balance was not being able to hit, if that was the. I
Well,
mean,
we're pretty balanced.
They need a
Everybody's
better
stuck right
fulcrum
where
or
they are.
something.
Well, you know, this is the pro. Like I've been saying it since like freaking March. It looks like they're trying to do the whole Voltron damn idea again, and you know we're seeing the turrets, and yeah, great. So we have hulls that are, you know, going to be immune or close to immune to one type of damage, but you know you still got to get in that base. If it's immune to one, there's what, another 5.
Yeah, and
You-
most
you're
bases
not gonna be
can
able to-
carry 3 damage types.
Yeah, so you're not going to be able to like, you're not going to be able to get in. You're certainly not going to blitz because something's going to freaking die. If you only have one, you know, spotter, they only can get in so far. I mean, the Voltron idea doesn't work. It's not for this game. This is something that, you know, looks like it might be for one of their other games, but you know, they've got to go back, and I think I said it last week. They got to go back and find, you know, Paul Priest's Desktop Defender and fucking play that game, and because that's the whole idea behind base defense. It's where it came from, and at least it'll give them an idea of, you know, what the fuck the thought process was.
Maybe they build their own bases on their server, and they're really, really bad at it, and they're smashing each other, thinking how great these are.
My question is, are there still people that are telling Kixeye that bounty is fine?
I hope not.
I hope not. I know I've been like, I mean, everyone knows I've been freaking bitching about bounty for forever.
No,
Is
nobody
there a
noticed.
majority here that we're not aware of that is saying leave it how it is, it works perfect, they can't steal my bounty?
So no, look, there are some players, as a player set that does not like losing their bounty, right? And you know the problem that I have with that, and I got into a big thing on the forums, I think, or something, somewhere on one of the pages, I think, where, you know, bounty, the whole purpose of bounty was to steal other players' bounty. I mean, that was the stated purpose, like literally the stated purpose. And I can't fathom this whole, well, I worked hard for my bounty, I shouldn't, you know, have to lose it, da da da. Well, it was the same thing with resources when we first started base hitting. You know, you worked really hard to get those resources, and guess what? I'm coming to steal them. Hell, there are times that I didn't need it and I went to steal it. It was dumped in the ocean because I
worked really hard on my fleet to kill your base so I could take your bounty.
Yeah,
Why,
I mean,
you know?
I understand they don't want to lose, you know, stuff, but that's the game. That's battle pirates. I mean, that's the whole.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, if they want participation and then they're running, you know, at the same time, you know, like last FM, weren't they asking for like 9 million, or last bounty, weren't they asking for like 9 or 10 million in the FM? They either need to compress it or change some of the rules associated with repair times so players can do everything else they're asking them to do. That's a big part of the problem. They need to make it 2 days or 1 day or something, or
we're just talking about players that are happy with the way bounty is because they can't lose bounty, and that's a part of bounty that's absolutely broken.
but also there's like a larger issue too, though.
There are other issues, yes, but that's the one that we're talking about. That one specific part of it, because we're we're trying to figure out why in the hell they're not trying
Yeah,
to
why is there
adjust
no
or fix
modification
bounty.
being made to the format?
And and that was the question. And yes, there are some players that absolutely 100% adore this version because they can't lose bounty. There's no way they can lose bounty.
Well, there must
Yeah.
be a benefit to them for doing that. They must see either the participation gives them hope that they're going to start coining, or they think that more people, since more people are theoretically going to be happy because they can't lose, so they can get their prize and get their participation trophy, that is better than pissing off all of the higher end people or the people that look at it as the core concept of taking it from other people, So,
Yeah, but the thing is the people that coin aren't the ones that are like, I don't want to lose my bounty.
well, they might be. You never know.
Not really. I mean, in PvE they might. In
well,
PvE they might.
they,
But the thing is in bounty, who's going to be paying the most? It's the people that are going and hitting bases, fixing their fleets on the map.
sure.
People that are fixing their bases. I mean, and that's why I floated the idea before. In bounty, base repair, including your damn defense fleet, 2 coins. That's it.
Sure.
Guarantee you that people stop coining that shit.
I'm sure there also are plenty of coiners, like we've talked about before. There's, like anything, you're going to look at it pretty close to your own perspective. Like, this is how I play, this is how I figure other people play, with some variance. But I know, there's people that coin blitz stuff, on chores. So we know they must, because they keep doing it. So somebody's doing it. So
Yeah, we
that's
probably
what I
know
mean.
some of them.
So is that there has to be an audience for this that's still spending money. They might be higher end people that have medals, that play PvP, that are all into it, that still don't want to lose theirs. I'm sure they exist.
I cannot in any look from any perspective, I can't see where it would behoove the company more monetarily to have the people that PvE
Sure.
and want to spend some money doing the bounty versus the players that are not coining now because bounty's pointless because you're not hitting bases.
I don't know, but I'm not privy to the details. So I don't have their quarterly reports, so I couldn't tell you. But either they're utterly ignorant or there's money being made we don't realize. There's a direction or a push somewhere that we're not seeing, that we don't see, that gives them the justification in their minds.
We know they're not making the money because Will Hobbin got himself involved, and that's not going to happen unless the bottom line's going to shit.
Maybe, yeah.
He's not going to come out if everything was rosy peachy keen and they were making money hand over fist. He's not going to come out from the woodwork at all.
But then if they were really that desperate, they would also change it sooner. Theoretically. I know. I'm not saying
it's Kickside. It's a big company. The mentality is it's a slow moving mentality. There's no immediate response.
Certainly. Obviously, we've seen that in their releases. It's devil's advocate and curiosity more than anything. But I always figure there's other players that aren't like me, that don't play the way I do, and whatever. So maybe those are the people that are. But I agree. There should be some risk. It makes it fun.
And the catch is I try and talk to those players. I don't coin that much either.
Sure.
But I love hitting bases during bounty, or I used to. I haven't done it in I don't know how long now. And every once in a while, Padre saw me. Every once in a while, I'll get a hair up my ass. Now, holy crap, we're having like a mega battle. I'm gonna coin my mega. That was stupid, but we were actually battling. There's no fucking battles now.
Not really, no.
Well, let's get to some more some of the older prizes, because we're going to go through the newer prizes with pictures of the blueprints. But has anybody had much experience with the conservator? Isn't that the CM that deals with
I haven't gotten to play with that yet.
Not me either.
Okay. Is there? I noticed the warden has dropped out. Besides the Vanquisher build, isn't the warden a better haul? And the warden's no longer in here, but isn't
Vanquisher,
it better?
Yes.
No. I'm saying, unless you're going to go for the old Vanquisher build on your curator, is there another build that makes sense for this?
Not in here, no.
I don't even have that hull.
Which one, the curator?
Yeah, the curator.
Yeah.
I want it, but I never built it.
Yeah, because I'm like, the warden's no longer here. I mean, you guys probably have all conquerors, correct? Or not all conquerors, but mostly conquerors in your base defense fleet.
I still have a lot of wardens, actually.
I have 5 wardens.
Okay, you have wardens. Yeah, because what I'm saying is, I would rather have a warden than
A curator.
a curator. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that
Okay.
sentiment.
Okay.
Although I have 5 and I'm only running 1 now, so and
I run 2 and then 3 conquerors, so
you have to.
yep, pretty much.
Yeah. Even though that they've reduced the build time, which we brought that up earlier, or not the build time, the repair time. Repair. Yeah, the repair time is down to 30 minutes for every defender now, which is very cool. I like that, but yeah, it's been over a month, and nobody has anything to say about the conservator, which is it didn't look like a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, where was it really going to be a big thing? I mean, what point do you?
Let's see. It's weak to Morts, and the only thing that we hit with is Morts.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I smell a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same problem with all the other hulls they're coming out with. They're so weak in every other area, you have to make them utterly useless in many regards to even get them to withstand anything, or if that's even possible in some cases. So it's asinine.
And I did find it amusing how they reduced it seems like they significantly reduced the cost of the 7-day build tokens and bounty relative to the raid. I mean,
yeah,
they're still useless in my mind, but
I agree.
It's
with base parts the way they are pointless to get.
They'll be good for down the road, maybe, if we get another one of them 30-day build ones for taking that.
Yeah, but they're
I don't want to see that again.
For taking it off, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's some low-hanging fruit. Change the build time on those antis.
ECMs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all that stuff. All the elite.
Ridiculous.
Everything with elite means Let's go on to the Revenge 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Good times.
Yeah.
This is reimagined.
Turbo.
Granted, we have limited imagination.
I mean, the fun thing with the original Revenge, why does it say Revenant on the picture?
Because that's the name of it.
They didn't go with Revenge 2. That's a shame. Yeah,
I'm calling it Revenge 2.
So it is. I mean, it is Revenge 2 essentially. But I mean, what I missed, what I was hoping was that if they redid the Revenge, they were going to do a combination of percentage resistance and deflection, just to just mess with stuff. But I guess not.
Some people get excited until they found their first turret and bypass.
Oh yeah,
that didn't work at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, it'd be it'd be negative 30%.
Works on ships though.
What would the armor, or what would the weight be with some of those? Because aren't some of those total armor percentages?
Yeah, they are. It'd probably get you
weight 8 million tons. So get your fat. We call it the cookie. So
yeah, I mean, this is not an awe-inspiring haul. The weapon still needs to go through walls. It doesn't have any special effects. It's sort of the same thing again, right?
Does it fight bear?
Is the concussive damage lower than the Revenge? The Revenge was like what, 200%?
Can it fight bears? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, but with the Revenge, they didn't have that crazy ass weapon coming out with it. I mean, the other thing here is when you have 5 defensive hulls and you have the Voltron hull mechanic crap thing going on. I mean, even if your turrets are only like on 1 or 2 damage types, you can throw one of these things in and mix up the damage. I mean, it's just this. Oh God, they need to work on this so bad.
Okay. Let's move on to the weapon, or I think the weapon's
next. Let's.
No, it's a zip drive. which is a really surprising thing they would have from the 90s.
I think I still
Well,
have one of those things sitting in a box somewhere.
Yeah. I was surprised they were gonna add it. What?
I said somebody's a hoarder.
It was 315%, Padre.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
This not so huge. 85. That's cute. Thanks. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna break deflections with that.
So build a revenge. There you go. Problem solved.
Put the new weapon on there.
It'll survive just as long. So
Call it a day.
save 45,000.
Okay, this is hull limited. Comfort defenders, weapon weights moderate, increases reload and damage, and a big boost of combat speed that could potentially be used. I don't know. Could it be used elsewhere?
Yeah, it's 15%. It's a moderate boost to combat. We've
You
got
get
other
more out
specials
of the
that do
hyper.
30.
Hyper
Yeah.
30 does 30%. So I doubt they'd stack. So
Yeah.
And even the upgrade, but I mean, I guess it does do other stuff, so they're not going to give it like a 30%.
Yeah.
Who could chew?
Yeah, but I'm surprised they went so far back that like it was this late 80s, early 90s technology.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that and you need the 15% combat speed because, well, that's not it. But let's go here. Let's take a look at the combat speed for this particular hull.
26, yeah.
It's 26. That's pretty slow. That's pretty slow.
Putting along.
A little bit of combat speed is not a bad thing.
Want to go fast.
I know you're either first or you're last.
Yeah, exactly.
Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby. There's so many of those anymore. It seems poignant. So.
All right, let's go into the weapon. The weapon's.
Weapon.
You mean like now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you want to talk about zip drive for a longer.
Soonish.
Okay.
Yeah. This was originally released with the no hull class restrictions, at least in your shipyard, but that made no sense because this is way outpowers. Anything the Gatling gun 2 or anything. You got 4 or 5 times the damage coming out of this. So yeah, they made that change in time. Ballistic deflection. I don't know. It's and it's weird, at least in my mind, as far as it seems like a weird artifact of the deflection armors that the wall damage and building damage for something that's supposed to hit bases is lower, but it sort of makes sense with everything else they've done that would be lower because of the high deflection values associated with your guard fleets and what else?
Yeah. I was still liking it on the prototype. It's a shame. It would have been fun.
Yeah.
It's like quite a show.
It's like 1.6 million, I think, was the total damage. So yeah, fun times. But as far as on a baser or even a defender, I mean, you catch your low-hanging fruit hitters, I'm sure, but I don't think you're going to stop anybody that knows what they're doing and or hurt anybody really, because you won't get to them. You won't make it to them.
Yeah, I mean, high speed. I mean, they at one point they tried to simplify everything for everybody, and they, in PvP, they dropped off a lot of, what am I trying to say? Like the special abilities. Yeah. That did other things. It sort of seemed to, we're going to talk about a little bit about this with the turrets in the next slide or two. But what does everybody think about that? Because now it's very, well, with the deflection, it's sort of binary, but it's just an odd thing. There's like, okay, well, you can look at this and be like, that's not going to work.
Well, yeah, I mean that's part of the issue. It's a good and bad thing. I mean, it's a good thing because it makes it easier because there's so many things that don't work anyway. So to me, don't even put them in. If they're not going to work, just leave them out. I don't care. But like you said, pretty much looking at it, since it doesn't have anything else to help it, it's it's not going to do it. So the only other part that's probably in the back of most players' minds is whether they're going to change it because they like to change stuff because they've done it in the past, or it's going to work in some weird manner it's not supposed to, and I'm going to miss the opportunity to at least benefit from it for a short bit. So other than that, it's
Okay. You got anything else on the Havoc? Padre, F-bomb?
No, it looks like a Gatling gun. It's gonna shoot stuff at you. Is it gonna break deflections? It will on if you're just running one whatever you call it. If you're just running
rocket,
one of the
rocket or
armors.
the
G6U?
Yeah, I mean I think you can get that up with critical hits too, but no, it won't. What's the salvo? 5. So yeah, you're not looking at anything special here.
No.
I mean, salvo's 5. I mean, if the salvo's a little bit higher, I mean, the reload's okay, but that. I mean, the windup isn't going to be all that special if the reload's already at 3. When you get to rank, it's going to be what the fuck is that divided by 4? Someone do the math. Halfway do the math. Shit.
Plus,
What by 4?
salvo is not as good as multi-shot anyway at killing. So it would have been.
Well, I was thinking more like
7 to
if you
5.
have it all, going up and running at that. If you have it somewhere where it's shooting the entire time they're in your channel, right? The windup's going to help. Yeah. But is it enough to have that pass through working?
I can't imagine. I mean, well, you can hit bases that have all axioms and all the other Gatling guns that were in the base, and you're going to take virtually no damage. I mean, it's going to be nothing.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I saw a base the other day that was all set up with axioms on the island, and it hurt. It didn't kill you, but it definitely hurt.
It'll chip away at you.
Yeah, but like I said, at this point, it's hard to really go, yay, for chipping away at you over a long period of time. I mean, it's just, we've gotten a lot of this lately where it's just meh prizes. And you're like we talked about a minute ago, you already know looking at it, it's going to be okay, but
yeah, like I'm saying, is part of the thing with simplification is they said we're simplifying things, we're dropping things out. I think part of why the players were having an issue wasn't because they were all that complicated. It was a couple of reasons. A, they weren't, the blueprints were wrong. That's one of the things that the players didn't like. That you're building it according to the blueprint, but the blueprint is not providing all the information that you need, and that's not a good thing. It's I don't know. We can move on. They need to provide the information we need. And I think we're going to go to the turrets, which is more what I've been talking about, because
they're
not necessarily. Go ahead.
I said they're not lackluster.
No. I like these
turrets.
Yeah, we have a short range explosive turret. The long range is the catastrophic mortar, and then the mid range is the cold snap 2, and now we have our short range. Does a bunch of damage. I mean, it's
what is that broken down damage wise? And are there critical hits? I guess would be.
Critical hits are only supposed to occur with mortars.
Yeah, and that's from
no. It occurs with the special that gives it critical hit.
Yes, with the
but for mortars, not for
fuel munitions gives mortars critical chance, but not this theoretically. So as far as we know.
Yeah, but it's a stopper. I like it,
Yeah.
the fact that we have another stopper. Like you need to take care of this turret. You can't just click to the back of the base.
I mean, it's a little late, but I've been kind of saying that for a long time because, prepping isn't necessarily easy, but really your big worry is not killing the turret, not what it's going to do to you. You drive right by it and don't even really worry about what it's doing,
Mhm.
and you're just trying not to hurt it so you can get to the, prep out what you're trying to prep out. And that always annoyed me because I'm just throwing out, 5 or 6 turrets for no reason. Like I could have nothing on there and pretty much do equivalent. So.
Yeah, I mean, because we could have the discussion. Prepping ain't easy versus pimping ain't easy, and that could go
Sure.
for a while.
Certainly. So my expertise is definitely not in really either one of those things, but
Okay,
I'm game for whatever. Let's give it.
all right. What do you guys, Padre and George? What do you think about this? It appears, it's a stopper, right?
Yeah.
It's going to definitely be an interesting turret.
Don't run into it. So we've got several of those now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah, you also have the phlogiston and
Track 2.
yeah,
Yeah, coming out. We'll have more of those. So those will do even more damage.
The flogs and all that. Oh yeah.
Yep. So you won't want to get hit by those at all. And you can't outrange them with the one ship that can go in the base.
Yeah.
So
It's foresight.
Yeah.
That should be the name of the bounty. Foresight.
Should we go on to the mid-range rad turret?
Sweet.
Let's see it. What's it doing? Whoa! That's pyroclastic.
Mm-hmm.
2. The sequel.
Yeah. I mean, I've been making a joke for a while that they fired the person that named stuff.
Yeah.
But they've come up with some names in the meantime. But yeah, some of the stuff they keep on repeating the names. But has anybody done the numbers and figure out how this works relative to the cold snap, which has a special ability? This doesn't really have anything special it's doing.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna get as many of these bastards as I can.
Yep. Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're definitely going to put a pinch on people.
Between the range and the boost from the other T7s and the fact that you can use fire supports on these, yeah. So I did the math, but I don't trust my math to send it to anybody else. But yeah, it'll be fine. Everything is okay with those, except for the fact that it's one more nail in the coffin of anybody hitting. I mean,
see, I don't know that everything's okay with those because I did the math and I'm fairly confident in mine, as are a whole lot of other people that use them on their pages. And that thing is, there are issues.
what are your issues?
Because the splash to spread ratio, or what?
Just the damage.
Well, the splash to spread ratio is going to lower the damage because it's not a great one. At least you think it's a great splash to spread ratio, the 8 to 50.
What is the splash?
I mean, the spread's only 10.
No, spread's
50.
Spread's 50.
Well,
divided by 5.
Splash,
It's
but
10.
yeah.
It's 10 off center. The spread is only 10 off center. So no matter where you hit, you got a good chance of a hitting.
Yeah, but we don't know. We don't know the minimum splash numbers.
I don't give a crap. You got people slowing down if you're doing it right, you got people slowing down in your channel. The thing's got a 191 range. I don't give a crap.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna hit you. You know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, but it's always like you got to wait to see it to figure out actually how it works.
It works how it.
Yeah, which is a little bit frustrating in my mind. They're not as you can't take the blueprints and necessarily project the performance. As much as we would like it to work that way.
Be nice.
Go ahead, George. I didn't mean to interrupt you if you had more to say.
No. The rest of it I'm going to keep in my head.
Yeah.
Keeping this to myself.
Okay. Yeah, because we're all waiting for D6U2 or whatever to come out, which is going to be, who knows what's going to happen, and then we're going to have the refactor.
Yeah.
So
More fun.
Yeah, we don't know exactly how it's going to work. I mean, some of the most what's the word I want to use? The most outlandish things, they're going to go back to resistance-based stuff, or we don't know what's going to happen.
Floating fortresses are now OP.
Yeah. So I think this is our last slide, so I posted the link in case anybody'd like to join the show. And sounds like the puppy's about to throw up. So
You're gonna take care of that. I actually just received a home inspection report for the house we're selling, so I'm gonna go discuss that with the missus. And
Fun.
yeah, not really. But
No, not really.
What's wrong? What's wrong with the house?
nothing huge. We're seeing what they want. We're just gonna go over their wants and desires, and make sure that they feel very fulfilled.
It's the negotiation time.
Yeah, it's the second round of negotiations, basically.
They want their house, but they don't want to lose any bounty.
I'm gonna come in and take your bounty.
Tell them they had to secure their price beforehand. So.
Yeah. Well, you guys, I may jump back on here in a minute, but as always, good night. Have a good evening.
Have a pleasant evening, sir.
See you,
Have a good night. Have a good night, Padre.
Bye.
So you're leaving me with George. Is that what you're saying, Hefe?
Well, I need to go clean this up in a little bit. It's the second time he's thrown up today. It's just bile, but I feel like I need
fun.
Yeah. Are you afraid to be left alone with George?
No, I think he's a perfect gentleman, so I'm not worried there. So.
Oh yes, yes, I am.
He is sort of handsy, but yeah.
I am an angel.
I think you're on the East Coast, so you'd have to have some pretty long hands. So I think I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm not on
I'll be
the East
back.
Coast,
I'll
but
be
that's
back with you.
I'm sorry.
And again, everybody out there, the link's on the right-hand side in case you'd like to join. And
yeah, come on in. We'll talk about bounty. We'll talk about grinding for the next 2 weeks. And
yes, come on in. We can talk about all the balance that we've acquired in Battle Pirates.
Oh yes, such balance.
They must have a very strange concept of a fulcrum if this is balanced. So,
like I said, I'm not sure exactly what At least we did find out that the level 80 and below bases on the map are going to be able to get hit.
The NPCs. Well, did you see the message they put out today too about taking away some of the harder bases? I'm not sure what they constitute as harder, and then upping the points on the higher ones. Basically, they want us to hit the ones that hurt us more.
Yeah, but you can't. The higher one. I mean, if someone cops into my base, I have the new turrets. You're not going to be able to hit it.
No. I mean of the NPC targets.
Well, but they're
saying they're going to remove some of those. That's their theory that we're supposed to believe. Did you not see that or no?
Well, okay. They removed some of the very difficult bases.
Yeah.
How did they determine that? By what was placed in the bases, or by metal count? Because I'll tell you right now, I routinely dump metals or tested. I mean, hell, when I run bounty, I don't give a crap if I lose I don't care about metals.
Sure.
So I never have a ton of metals. So if my base is in there,
everything's level. I mean, that's what's run the game by. So they're just going to go on the highest level. People must have the best bases, right?
That's just. I mean, oh my goodness.
That's like Christmas.
They increased the payouts to what? I mean, what's their increase? Their increase, they think 200 points is an increase.
Probably. Yeah, something like ridiculous like that.
If I'm going to hit a base, if I'm going to hit my base, I better be getting a couple thousand bounty, not a couple hundred.
Yeah. I would pass mine right up. Like, nope, not messing with that. But that's the problem too with all these completely overpowered stuff is it kind of makes people lazy. It makes me lazy, and I'm sure it makes other players lazy because basically you're good. You don't really have to, unless you just really enjoy nitpicking every little detail. I mean, your guard can be decent and most likely help be fine and that sort of thing. It's I don't know. It takes a lot of the fun away, I think. But,
I don't want to lose my bounty.
there you go. There you go.
The thing is any NPC base that has the new turrets
Uh-huh.
they're not going to be worth hitting.
Well, I mean, if you're good with your sloth fleet, I mean, it'd be fine. But time-wise, no. Time-wise would be the big problem. But I mean, one ship being damaged versus, so
Right, but if it's only like 200-point bounty,
Yeah.
what the hell? I would rather just, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, they're going to be, I mean, it'd be 700 maybe if talking about you're adding 200. So say 700, and that's not. You're better off
it's not
probably
gonna-
hitting a 60 or something, and
and that's what I was going to say. What's going to probably end up happening is that players are going to end up going, oh look, I can get 50 bounty from this level, this level 60. That poor bastard's going to be hit all nonstop.
Well, I mean,
it's
that's
this is
happening
not going to
anyway,
help
though.
bounty.
That part is, I mean, the level 80 part, I think, is probably going to help with a lot of that. I mean, it's a little more even.
That's true. We can't hit below
there.
level 80 now. That's true.
Down sub 80, it's going to be a little more of a relatively even playing field. But still, you can have most of the toys, if not all of them, at that level. So those people are still, but it might be a little easier to swallow if it's a 78 versus a 129 or whatever. It's just like, geez. So, but again, I have trouble with the conversation about what to do with bounty because I have been adamantly against the concept of it from its onset. You can't fix bad PvP with shoving PvP down our throat. Like it doesn't. It's a stupid mechanic. It's not. And then 6 months down the way, say, well, we're tweaking it and we're doing this. Okay, but you're still missing the point. If somebody, can't get up above that level, they're not going to continue to be up. Like they'll just perpetually be in that behind. Not saying participation trophy time, but I just think it's a bad mechanic to release PvP content. It favors previous tech, basically, in a sense. So, it's
the whole thing's gotta. I mean, it's gotta. They can't keep on running bounty unless it's balanced. I mean, and I think that's part of the problem is that, a lot of the players that are so adamantly against losing their bounty. I think part of the problem is that they know that their base sucks and there's no way for them to get better. So
exactly,
what's going to happen if they had balance in the game, when the Vanquisher came out at the beginning of the year, the whole concept behind that Vanquisher build was because mid-level and low-level players were getting slammed and they were only getting like a minute or 2 minutes of damage. They weren't scratching the damn fleets coming in to hit them. And then that Vanquisher fleet comes in and their base still can get beat, but it hurt the bastards that came in. Right. Yeah. And that's the difference. They may still be able to get beaten, but psychologically it's not as bad because you're not getting your ass kicked completely.
Feel like you're released in the game.
At least it costs that son of a bitch something to come and hit you. Because they're not going to be able to go and hit 30 bases now. They're going to hit like one and they're going to go and repair. And we've gotten to the point where bounty is now like that. It's like it's either your base, it's the PvP so binary, your base is either going to get walked or you're going to stand a good chance of stopping them, and that's not a good place for PvP.
It doesn't promote engagement. It doesn't make people feel like there's hope for better. Like they're like, if I just get this new thing, or if I can just work this over here, then I'll really be somewhere. They know you pretty much. If you pay attention, if you don't have it, you can do nothing. Like you can basically do nothing, no matter what you tweak, no matter what you do. If you don't have the right combination. And I think, I mean, that's always been the case. The new thing was quite often the best thing, and you needed to have it, but you didn't need to have 8 of them. You didn't, what I mean? You didn't have 8 of them and in the right place, in the right, just the right spot. I mean, I don't know. So it'll be. I'm not very excited about Op 11, and also interested to see what Tier 7.5 or 8 brings. I mean, what their solution is. I think a lot of people are kind of right on that edge of what to do. Do I keep giving them my hope and my time, or do I just say this is not going to get better? You know, I hope more people keep playing because I mean, for as dumb as the game is, I still enjoy it. I don't know, there's maybe something wrong with me or whatever, but I still enjoy it. You know, even not right now as much, but they come, they go, and it's always been that way. There were best of times, the worst of times. So.
I don't know. I mean, they've got to get to a point. They've got to get to a point where if the lower and mid-level players want to engage, then they should actually at least be able to put up a fight.
Yes.
They might not be able to win, but they got to be able to put up a fight.
Sure.
And the way that it is right now, that's just not happening.
Well, and give them an avenue where their strategy can either diminish their losses and or potentially save them. Being smart in the game and being strategic should be more important than having acquired the right combination. I hate the 8 bonus. I absolutely hate it. And the one upside to the corrosive was at least I didn't have to put it all in one little squish on my island and blah, blah, blah. I hated that because it was telling me how to build my base, and screw that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and they're going away from the other thing that really frustrates me, and I part of me is frustrated very much with Kixeye over this. Part of me is actually frustrated with the player community in part of this as well, because one of the things was when they changed like the FM, that was the whole push on, hey, you know what, you can get all your stuff with like 5 or 6 targets, and then that's changing, and I don't see any outcry for that. The expeditions came around, and quite literally they said in the forums, hey, this is essentially a blitz with no coin. No repair, no coin, no nothing. That's what we want to do with expeditions, is give you a blitz option that's not going to require coin. And lo and behold, we have blitzing now for the damn, for shit instead of expeditions. Why in the hell is no one just saying? I mean, I got a nasty message going, why are you bitching about, the blitz targets and da-da-da? You're just trying to find something to complain about and whine about. And I'm like, I'm trying to hold them to task for what they've told us.
It's desensitization.
I mean, I'm not going to do this whole "it is what it is" bullshit.
Well,
because if that's the case, well, fuck it. Yeah, well, see, now that's not acceptable to me.
Oh, I understand.
If you as a company are going to tell me that you're going to do this for me, and then you renege on that, well, I'm going to have an issue. And they want to know why people aren't coining and why people are not engaging, why people are quitting. I mean, it's shit like that. And then, they're like, oh, well, this group said that it's fine. It is what it is. No, that's not acceptable. If for the community, it's not a good thing for the community in general. And for people to just go, yeah, well, it is what it is, and da-da-da-da. That's just accepting it. That's allowing them to go, yeah, you know what? You can promise us whatever you want, and if you renege, we're not going to give a shit.
Apathy abounds, George. People make too much money.
That's the word right there.
A lot of people make more money than they need, so they don't care if they throw a little at the game. Big deal. They'll just do something else.
I'm sorry.
That's what?
Well, no, I just said I'm sorry.
I know, but I mean, you and me and whoever else coin are basically the guilty parties that are responsible for us. We may vote with our wallet, but our wallet carries no weight.
Well, I mean, it's because of Kickstarter that it carries no weight. It used to have some weight, but
well, no, it's because we're all different. You'll accept damage from one point, and you won't coin something else. I'll accept the opposite damage, so they're still making coin on it.
That's what I was talking about earlier, is that there's so many different personalities and acceptance levels playing the game, and the longer you've played and still play, I think the more likely you are to accept it to a certain level. Okay. Right or wrong, good or bad.
You know that I'm in Padres Alliance, right?
Yes, I'm aware.
And I heard you guys get on there, and everybody started talking about the turrets that are coming out, and how good they're going to be.
Well, good
For
and
how
bad.
long?
Well, yeah, but it's both. They're good
Well,
and
but
bad.
I mean, yeah, I know, but people didn't want to talk about what specials because that would let somebody else defend against them, and I don't blame them. But come on, guys, at most you're going to last 2 weeks,
Sure.
and then we're going to get Op 11, and then we're going to get Refactor. So
Well,
let's go out, let's bust our ass.
I don't know that anyone was actually
do
saying that they were, great turrets. I think what we were saying was the damage, like the way that it's coming out, the way it is now. That's what we were discussing. Because we all know, and I think we actually mentioned that we don't even know what the hell's going to happen in when did they say
Refactor.
October?
Something like that, yeah.
So we got like a whole whopping 2 months, and that's why we started saying they should have just dumped everything so we could play with it.
I imagine they're going to come out with a
that's-
Conqueror before they come out with Op 11.
That's
Because
that's the
what's the
problem that we're looking
inspiration?
at.
Who needs Op 11 right now? I don't need Op 11. Do you need Op 11? I don't need it.
I don't know that they're going to come out with.
Oh, we
I
do.
mean,
We need the extra turrets and we need base power. So yeah, we need Op 11.
I don't need either one of those things.
I think they would be silly to put out OP11 right now because
Yeah.
they have got to get balance in check first before they go to the next step.
I don't know. Like
George,
I
I
said,
agree. That's what they should do.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what they're going to do.
No.
Common sense would have dictated that the armor came out, and that didn't come out either. So you're right.
But common sense is throw common sense out the window. See what brings coin, and that affects what we do.
We're 3 months past common sense. I mean,
Yes.
4 months past it. I mean, we all talk about what was it, Bounty 7 as being this great bounty. Well, part of the reason it was a good bounty was the fact that it was pretty even back then. It wasn't totally lopsided one way.
It was lopsided towards the defender.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I broke that down really heavily for something, and it was the reason why that one was so much fun for most players is that it was kind of leaning towards, there was a lean towards base defense, but not so much so that you stopped PvP.
Exactly.
And that was the catch. The top end players could still hit. You could still, and that was the other thing, is you could still score a lot of bounty. Like where a lot of coining I think happens is when you see, hey, I can get 5,000 bounty from this son of a bitch, right? Yeah. And you go in and you will coin that fleet to either you get in or you bubble them. One or the other is going to happen.
Well, and that was before the $10,000 auto and all that. So you could get 20. You could get 24 or what, 28 or so.
I've seen people hit 17,000 on a hit. So.
Well, but I mean, before when there was 56,000, you could get up to. Half of just, that's all I meant is now. I mean, it's weird because you can get a lot more than 5,000 for sure. And you're saying 17? Somebody's got that?
That was before they put in the.
Okay. Well, because I've gotten more than 5,000 on a hit before. Weird, but I'll take it.
I actually could see how that would happen.
Yeah.
If they had hit the 10,000, you were in the base hit. Yeah. You were in the base hit, and say they got the 800 drip, or they hit someone else, or they got something. That I could see that happening.
Or like a delay on the mechanic of banking it. I always make sure I go to that screen and watch the little thing go and do all that. So, because I don't trust them.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Bonnie used to be fun when you could go and hunt out other bases and hit. I mean, that's the fucking point.
Well, you'd sit there, you see the timer counting down, you'd see a guy's worth 20,000. Is he going to get it banked? Is he not going to get it banked? Am I going to get a chance to hit him? You know what? That's the most fun, is sitting there trying to figure out what you can do to take the most away from somebody. Now you can't take anything.
No. And you can't prep. You got a one shot.
Yeah. And that's why I put in, I wrote that whole big ass thing about bounty for what they should change on it and stuff, and people flipped out, and they wanted to post as anonymous too, though. No one wanted to post their names. Yeah. And the catch is, though, is if I tried to step back and look at it from every perspective and try and come up with something that was balanced across the board, and that's really difficult.
Yep.
In the game. And there were pluses and minuses in all sorts of areas and stuff, but I think that's probably I haven't seen anyone else come up with an all-encompassing plan for bounty, including Kixeye. because I tried to address as much shit as I could that I heard or people said, or I tried to include everything. And it's not the perfect plan, but it sure as fuck is better than what we got now.
Yeah. But we'll have to see what they come out. Like I said, I just foresee them bringing out a Conqueror first, because again, I mean, I know you're talking about power issues. I mean, I'm not even close to power issues. So I think a lot of people, some people are, but I don't know how. I mean, maybe it's just a whole different method of what they're doing.
I think that was wrong. Yeah, I don't have a power issue.
Well, I wasn't. I'm sorry. I wasn't. I was actually meaning to speak to him. I just didn't say it. I'm sorry.
No, there are other people. I'm not necessarily having power issues either, but I've heard of people saying that they have.
Sure. And
power, yeah.
But I guess my point really with that, it isn't that there aren't potentials to get better and to do better, but in most cases it's totally unnecessary. You don't need Op 11 to stop most stuff now, let alone once these new turrets come out. So I don't know. To me, I feel like they'll come out with a Conqueror to give people reason to do it. They like to break it and then fix it and then break it and then fix it, and because you have to create that hamster wheel to keep people rolling. I don't know. Balance schmallows.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's they do need to do something about it, and they got to do something about it fast, because people are just getting really fed up. I mean, there's a lot of players on here that play just for PvP, and when you go a couple of months out of the year, I mean, what are we going to have, like half the year now that we can't freaking hit a base?
More or less, yeah.
I mean, what the hell?
Well, and I'm not a fan of only having kind of one option. I mean, I'm not you just have to click to the back of the base and blah 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 kind of guy. But at the same time, I don't really want to use sloths. I find them boring to use, and I know I'm probably the minority there, but I don't like them. I don't want to use them. So I'm bored out of my mind. I'm just waiting for something else I can build, because I like building something and making it work. It's fun.
Yeah, and here's the thing: is the one thing that I'm really concerned about is, as they go through each tier, they always try and kind of negate the last tier, and it's something that I'm hoping that they're not going to go forward and continue, because that was the problem with going from 6 to 7.
Oh yeah.
And the Sloth is a tier 6, but it's still the most viable baser that we have. I am absolutely terrified that they're going to find a way to negate the damn Sloth. Yeah. And if that happens, I mean, holy shit. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going to happen to the game.
It's a dual thing. I mean, truthfully, it should have been negated a long time ago. I mean, it's illogical that something that old is still.
Yeah, but they have to have a viable opportunity to hit bases.
It's only viable simply because they come out with new spotters. I mean, that's the big thing. But they're creeping up on that inside range where, if placed right, it ain't going to matter. Like if they get up towards 120 and in that area. You bring
a second, but you can mitigate that with the second spotter. The catch is
certainly, but
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, the only reason why it's the most viable option is because everything else sucks, and that's the whole problem. Is that whole Voltron idea is not a viable one in this fucking game. They've got to stop that.
They should have made every hull a little bit better, a little more even, but a little bit better. In the sense that your build on it was more viable, instead of like I've said, you basically can't make a stop and go or whatever blitzer if you want. It's not really the case, but I mean that type of hull function, because it won't do enough damage. It's like virtually impossible to do enough damage to make it worth building. So
and then
sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying that kind of lends itself back to the whole. They've got to find a balance where everybody can at least put up a fight, because right now it's so damn binary. And I mean, I know mid-level players, even the ones that are, they bumped it up to 80, but they're like mid-level 80s that have some toys and others, and they just are completely dejected. They don't even bother on their base, because it's like, why? They're just going to come in and walk my ass. I'm going to get fucked, and that's it.
And the technology changed.
And the what?
And the technology will get changed before they're ready.
Yep.
no reason to build a Studebaker at this point.
Sure.
Because by the time they're ready to really,
they're not even bothering because it's fucking pointless.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying at that point, what I'm saying is at the point in time when they're ready, the technology that they're putting in now is too old to even work.
No, Hefe, they have stuff. They're not even bothering because it's so binary that it's pointless for them to even do it. If they had like maybe the corrosive stuff, they might throw it in. But I mean, they have some of the other stuff. They're just not bothering. They either don't have enough of them, or they don't have. You know what I mean?
You're agreeing with me. What I'm saying is, at the point in time where they have a full enough kit in order to defend their base, the stuff they're investing in now is going to be passé. Does that make sense to you now, or it's the fact that what they're investing in now before they get a full kit?
Yeah, I think that's a function of the binary nature that is the actual problem. It's just the design sucks. They've kind of painted themselves into the corner, and that's kind of that's because of the binary nature, I think. Because if they had actually made the turrets worth a shit by themselves, then yeah, they'd be building stuff. But it's either you're on or off, and that's it. And I don't know. I really worry about because they do want to get PvP back in, right? And that's awesome. But how are you going to get people to come into PvP if they're just like, fuck this, because I can't do crap, right? I mean, they can't scratch certain fleets. I don't know. I really worry about the players that are leaving on all levels at this point. And then the poor bastards that are, they got that reprieve from 50 to 80, but then when they hit 80, now what happens? I mean,
okay. Well, I think we could probably take this to the after show at this point.
Oh yeah, probably about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. So, thanks everybody for showing up. We'll be back on Friday. See how Bounty is working. Figure out if all the level 70s now have, 8 corrosive turrets, and how that's going to work out for everybody. I would recommend autoing everything, because even if celebrities, level 80, they may still have stuff that's going to fuck up your fleet. So
that's the other thing that I was going to ask too, is with as many targets and as many people that are going to be farming, because that's the only thing, you're just going to be grinding the entire bounty. How many targets are actually going to be on the map for people to hit at that point? Because the big ones, no one's going to hit.
Yeah, it's
this is going to be atrocious.
It's one reason I haven't decided to do it or not, because it's going to be a shitload of seat time.
Well, it really depends on what your goal is at the end. You should do it, even if you can go in there, get the drip or whatever you want to call it and lock it, and still get some turrets that are going to be useful. Even if you just get one turret out of the whole thing, I think it's still going to be useful for a lot of players, even if you're never vulnerable the whole time.
Okay, talk me into it.
No, listen, absolutely get in there and get stuff. I mean, the cold snap turrets, 5,000? You can get 8 of them. I mean, just getting the drips, get yourself some of the turrets.
Yeah.
Problem is,
I'm telling you right now, what?
The problem is, if I start it, I'll sit there until I fall asleep.
That's a you issue.
That's a you issue. I mean, just don't even look at the damn hull. I mean, I'm not even looking at the hull, because I'm just not gonna. I'm not gonna grind. I cannot sit here and grind for 2 fucking weeks straight.
Yeah, just look at the turrets. Look at the turrets, and then the turrets are gonna. I think we did a decent enough job explaining the turrets. I guess we could have gone more into the turrets.
Oh, look, here's the Reader's Digest version. Get some pyroclastics, get some cold snaps, and then get some Serbs. There you go.
Yeah, and because and you can replace your phylogistans with some 1 or 2 with the Yeah.
I mean, the Phlogiston 2 is only 5,000. The Cold Snap 2 is only 5,000. So you can look at those, and you can get 8 of each of those. So if you're worried about getting the full 200%, you can kind of spend your points on that one and get yourself one of the big ones, one of the big boys on each of the top. That way you don't blow all your points.
Mm-hmm.
But-
Okay. Alrighty. We'll talk to you on Friday, mid bounty. I'm going to be owning George's base the whole time. But, we're not going to talk about that. I mean, and Magic Mike, I'm not sure what he's going to be up to. But
it's untested. I don't know what's going to happen.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, we'll see on Friday, like how bounty's working out. I mean, we could be doomsayers on this whole thing, or we could be, correctly predicting what's going to happen. But we don't know at this point, and we'll know more on Friday. So if anybody wants to join us then, and I'm going to put the link to the show in case anybody would like to join the after show in YouTube at this point, and feel free to join us. And
1,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, do it.
Yeah, or all these people are going to unsubscribe. But
don't do that.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
Subscribe. I think we cracked 1,000 on this. I'm still like 20 short. Yeah, I think I'm still like 20 or 30 short on mine too. So, but we did crack 1,000, so that's a plus. Yay!
Awesome. Yeah, we cracked 1,000. I got the cardboard play button. I'm on Friday's show, I'll show off the cardboard play button for having 1,000 subscribers. And we'll move forward from there. So thanks everybody for showing up, and we will see you all on Friday.
Yep. Have a good night, everybody.
Later, people.